They call him the silent billionaire. While others chase cameras, headlines, and applause, Amancio Ortega hides from the spotlight like it's a disease. Yet, from the shadows, he built one of the most powerful empires the world has ever seen. A global machine that changed how you dress, how you shop, and even how you think about luxury itself. Before we dive deep into this secretive empire, stop for a moment. If you're fascinated by the hidden lives of billionaires, the ones who quietly shape the world while we scroll through our screens, then make sure you subscribe right now. Because what you're about to hear, you won't find in interviews and you won't see on any magazine cover. Let's begin. Amancio Ortega was born in 1936 in a small Spanish town called Bustango de Arbas, a place so tiny that maps barely bother to show it. His father was a railway worker. His mother cleaned houses. They lived modestly, sometimes struggling to buy food. The irony? This boy who couldn't afford new clothes would one day become the man behind Zara, the empire that sells clothes to millions every single day. He left school at 14. Not because he was rebellious, but because he needed to work. His first job? Delivering shirts for a local tailor's shop. Day after day, he'd carry neatly folded fabrics to wealthy families, and something clicked inside him. He realized how fashion was more than clothes. It was power, identity, and control. But there was something else. While the tailor took weeks to make a single suit, Ortega watched customers complain about waiting. He saw opportunity. People don't want to wait for luxury, he thought. They want it now. That single idea would later transform into the concept of fast fashion, and Zara would become its beating heart. Years passed. Ortega learned to cut fabrics, to stitch by hand, to understand every fiber that made a garment. But he was still poor. He was invisible. Until 1963. In a small living room with his wife Rosalia Mera, he started sewing bathrobes and lingerie by hand. They named their tiny company Confections Goa. No investors, no offices, just dreams, needles, and endless work. He didn't know it yet, but that humble living room would be the birthplace of a revolution worth tens of billions of dollars. The secret? Ortega noticed something others ignored. Fashion houses in Paris and Milan dictated trends months in advance, but regular people couldn't afford or access them. Ortega thought, why not copy luxury styles and sell them fast for less? It was bold. It was controversial. But it worked. By 1975, he opened the first Zara store in La Coruña, Spain. He didn't spend millions on advertising. He didn't hire models or celebrities. Instead, he focused on speed. When a new trend appeared on the runway, Zara designers replicated it, factories produced it, and within days it was in stores. What luxury brands took months to release, Zara did in weeks. People went insane. Zara became a phenomenon, a store that changed every time you visited. Shoppers began treating it like a treasure hunt. You never knew what you'd find, and if you hesitated, it would be gone next week. Ortega's formula created urgency, scarcity, and desire, the golden triangle of retail success. Behind the scenes, he was relentless. He built an ultra-efficient supply chain, connecting design teams, factories, and logistics centers in real time. Trucks left every morning, loaded with freshly made garments headed to hundreds of stores across Europe. And every evening, Ortega personally reviewed reports on which colors sold best, which designs failed, and which patterns needed tweaking. He wasn't just selling clothes, he was selling data-driven emotion. By the late 1980s, Zara expanded beyond Spain. France, Portugal, the United States, the brand spread like wildfire. While competitors relied on seasons, fashion weeks, and celebrity endorsements, Zara created its own rhythm, a rhythm that beat to the pulse of consumer desire. Yet, as profits soared, Ortega disappeared further from the public eye. No interviews, no red carpets, no luxury yachts flaunted on Instagram. He rarely even let people take his photo. When Forbes first listed him as a billionaire, journalists couldn't find a single official portrait. Some thought he was a myth, but his empire was very real. Under the parent company Inditex, Ortega expanded into multiple brands: Massimo Dutti, Pull & Bear, Bershka, Stradivarius, Oysho, and more. Inditex became the largest fashion retailer in the world, surpassing H&M, Uniqlo, and even luxury titans. How big are we talking? At its peak, Inditex operated over 7,000 stores in more than 90 countries. And Ortega's personal fortune? Over $80 billion. Yet if you saw him walking on the street, you'd never know. He dresses simply, usually a plain white shirt and navy blazer. He eats at the same cafeteria as his employees. He drives modest cars. His house, compared to other billionaires, is understated. So why hide when you're worth more than some countries? Because for Ortega, silence is strategy. He believes exposure kills focus. The less people know about your next move, the harder it is for them to copy or sabotage it. While other billionaires build brands around their personalities, Ortega built systems, machines that run with or without him. This mindset shaped every corner of Inditex. Stores are designed with a minimalist aesthetic, putting all attention on the clothes. Marketing budgets are tiny because Zara doesn't need ads. Customers advertise for them on social media. The company doesn't predict trends, it reacts to them faster than anyone else. Every decision, every detail, every thread connects back to Ortega's invisible philosophy. Work hard in silence. Let your empire make the noise. And oh, it made noise. In 2001, Inditex went public. The IPO was one of the biggest in Spanish history, and overnight Ortega became one of the richest men alive. Yet the next day, instead of celebrating, he went to work as usual. Same desk, same routine. No parties, just business. His employees often say he never wanted to be famous. He wanted to be effective. And effective he was. But as Zara conquered the world, critics began to rise. They accused fast fashion of environmental damage, labor exploitation, and overconsumption. Documentaries emerged exposing factories in Bangladesh and other countries where workers faced harsh conditions. Ortega, famously private, said nothing. His silence became both his weapon and his shield. Was he heartless? Or simply focused on the bigger picture, the survival of an empire in a ruthless industry? No one really knows. Because Ortega never explains. He lets his results speak. In 2011, he retired as chairman of Inditex, handing over the reins to trusted executives. But make no mistake, he still pulls strings from behind the scenes. He owns about 60% of Inditex shares, earning billions in dividends every year. And while most billionaires diversify into flashy tech startups or space projects, Ortega's investments are as silent as he is. He quietly built one of the largest real estate portfolios in the world. Skyscrapers in Madrid, luxury buildings in London, and office towers in New York. Rent from those properties alone brings him hundreds of millions per year. The man who started sewing bathrobes now owns the buildings where billionaires do business. That's not luck. That's long-term design. Ortega's world operates like a perfectly tailored suit, simple on the outside, complex underneath. And the question everyone asks, how did a poor boy from Spain outsmart the entire fashion world? The answer lies not in brilliance but in discipline. He never sought attention. He never chased trends, he studied them. While others marketed dreams, he delivered them faster and cheaper. He's the proof that silence can be the loudest form of power. When Amancio Ortega retired from the public eye, many assumed his empire would slowly fade. After all, he wasn't the type of man who chased fame or even recognition. But those who underestimated him forgot one crucial thing. Ortega had never needed to be seen to be in control. His systems, his philosophy, and his discipline were embedded so deeply into Inditex that his presence was felt in every stitch, every store, and every sale. Zara didn't just survive his silence, it thrived in it. Every new CEO, every regional director, every store manager still followed the invisible rulebook Ortega had written decades earlier. The principles were simple but absolute: speed, precision, and humility. If a design didn't sell in 1 week, it was replaced. If customers started leaning toward a new color, factories shifted production overnight. It wasn't just a company, it was a living organism that evolved faster than anyone else. And Ortega? He was the invisible heartbeat behind it all. While fashion designers in Milan fought for magazine covers and Instagram followers, Ortega quietly studied sales charts. While other billionaires gave TED Talks about innovation, Ortega watched customers walk through Zara stores and mentally noted what caught their eyes. He never needed validation. His validation came in numbers, billions of them. By 2015, Ortega had reached heights that seemed impossible. For a brief moment, he even surpassed Bill Gates to become the richest man on earth. Yet even then, he refused interviews, refused to attend conferences, and rarely appeared in photographs. Reporters waited outside his offices for years, desperate for a single quote. None ever came. The world was obsessed with understanding him, but the truth was simple. Ortega didn't want to be understood. He wanted to build. And while his competitors drowned in marketing campaigns and luxury hype, Ortega's empire expanded like a silent storm. Inditex brands covered every demographic, from teens hunting for cheap trends to executives seeking minimalist luxury. Each brand was distinct, yet all followed the same secret rhythm: create fast, sell faster, and listen even faster. But there was something even more powerful happening behind the curtain, a transformation that few noticed. Ortega began redirecting his wealth into assets that would outlast any fashion trend: real estate. He quietly bought entire office blocks in Madrid, skyscrapers in London, and high-value properties in New York, Miami, and Paris. Each acquisition was strategic. Each one generated a new river of cash flow. He didn't invest in hype. He invested in permanence. Today, Ortega's private real estate company, Pontegadia, controls properties worth over $20 billion. That's more than many investment firms. And yet, you'll never see his name on a single building. There's no flashy logo, no monument to his success. Only silent ownership, a man quietly collecting rent from the world's most powerful tenants. It's the ultimate irony. The man who once couldn't afford rent now owns the buildings where global CEOs make billion-dollar decisions. But let's be honest, not everything about Ortega's world is perfect. His empire has faced serious criticism. Environmentalists accuse fast fashion of fueling waste and pollution. Labor activists claim that factories producing for Zara exploit workers in developing countries. Competitors call his model unsustainable. And how does Ortega respond? He doesn't. He lets time and results speak. While critics debate morality, Zara continues to dominate. While governments propose new regulations, Inditex adapts faster than anyone. Ortega's strategy of silence isn't ignorance, it's discipline. He knows that speaking publicly only feeds chaos. Staying silent keeps control. It's a lesson few billionaires ever learn. In a world obsessed with self-promotion, Ortega's anonymity has become his most powerful weapon. He's like a ghost moving through the corridors of capitalism, unseen but felt everywhere. If you visit the Inditex headquarters in Arteixo, Spain, you might even catch a glimpse of him, not behind a gold desk but walking the same hallways as employees. He still refuses luxury offices. He still eats with staff in the cafeteria. Some new hires don't even realize the quiet man beside them is worth more than $80 billion. To Ortega, equality inside his empire is sacred. Titles don't matter, results do. And that culture, that humility, has created one of the most efficient business ecosystems in human history. Zara's production cycle remains unmatched. Designers can sketch a concept on Monday, and by Friday, it's hanging on racks in stores across Europe. Competitors have tried copying the model for years, but they can't replicate Ortega's precision, because it isn't just about speed. It's about discipline, teamwork, and decades of quiet iteration. Every factory is positioned close to key markets. Every shipment is calculated to minimize waste. Every design decision is supported by data, not ego. That's Ortega's real secret. He didn't build a fashion empire. He built a system of efficiency that looks like art. And through it all, he avoided the one thing that destroys most billionaires: the need to prove themselves. He never needed to be right in public. He just needed to be effective in private. But despite his silence, the numbers tell the story for him. Inditex generates billions in profit every year. Its stores receive hundreds of millions of visits monthly. And even as online shopping grows, Zara remains one of the few brands that has mastered both the physical and digital worlds seamlessly. Behind that success is a principle Ortega has repeated for decades: the customer decides everything. It sounds simple, but it's the philosophy that redefined retail forever. Ortega built feedback loops into his empire long before data-driven became a buzzword. Every cashier, every store manager, every designer feeds real-time data into Inditex's central systems. If a jacket sells better in Paris than in Milan, Zara shifts production instantly. If a color flops in one region, it disappears the next day. That speed, that responsiveness, turned Ortega's empire into a global mirror of human desire. It doesn't shape culture. It reacts to it faster than anyone else. And perhaps that's why Ortega's wealth continues to grow quietly, even as the spotlight shifts to Silicon Valley billionaires and crypto kings. While they gamble on ideas that may fail, Ortega's machine keeps printing success one dress, one shirt, one store at a time. His silence isn't fear. It's confidence. He doesn't need to talk about power, because he already owns it. Today, Amancio Ortega is in his late 80s. He lives in Galicia, in the same region where it all began. His mornings are simple. He wakes early, reads reports, visits his company's facilities occasionally, and takes walks near the sea. He has no bodyguards, no entourage, no mansion filled with gold. His idea of luxury is freedom, the freedom to live unnoticed. And yet, every time you walk into a Zara, Every time you buy a piece of clothing because it's trendy, you're walking through the quiet shadow of his mind. His fingerprints are everywhere, not in the clothes themselves but in the system that brought them to you so fast, so efficiently, and so invisibly. He built a legacy without words, without noise, and without ego. And that, perhaps, is his greatest lesson. True power doesn't need to announce itself. Before we end this story, let's take a moment to recognize what you've just witnessed. Not just the story of a billionaire, but the story of a mindset that changed the world. If you've made it this far, it means you crave more than entertainment. You crave understanding. You want to know how these people think, why they win, and what makes them different. So here's my challenge to you. Don't just watch from the sidelines. Learn from the quiet power of Amancio Ortega. Study how he moves, how he avoids noise, how he focuses only on what matters. Apply that mindset to your own life, your business, your habits, your goals. Because the truth is, you don't need to be born rich to think like a billionaire. You just need the courage to work in silence until the world can't ignore you. And if you want to uncover more of these hidden stories, the secrets of billionaires who shaped the world without saying a word, then don't just scroll away. Backhand index pointing right, subscribe right now. Because next week, we'll step into another unseen empire, one even more mysterious than this. And trust me, you won't want to miss it.